Great. So my name is Johnny Cupcakes. Cupcakes is not my real last name, but sometimes I pretend it is, and I tell people that I'm part Portuguese and it spells out Cupcakes, but it's really not. I grew up outside of Boston, and what I don't like is traffic. And growing up as a kid, I would see my family come home from their 9-to-5 job upset all the time. And it wasn't so much the job, but it was more so not being able to raise my little sister and I. So at a young age, I was inspired to work for myself so that I could someday spend more time with the people that I love. And I started 16 businesses before I was 16, and I was inspired just by seeing this at a young age. We couldn't afford to get real haircuts, so my mom would have to cut my hair growing up. But she taught me to be open-minded and accepting of others, so even though I rolled out of bed and went to school like this, I was friends with people from all different walks of life. But at a young age, I realized that, life is short, and it's unfortunate that sometimes it takes a near-death experience for us to realize that we have to do more of what makes us happy, and that life is really short, and our time is very valuable. So I started 16 businesses before I was 16. One of them was lemonade. I graduated to having yard sales. When my family wasn't home, I would sell their stuff. I got in big trouble. My sister really loved those My Little Ponies, but I shoveled snow. I knew I wasn't going to shovel snow for the rest of my life, but sometimes these mini projects are stepping stones to something better. Even though I could barely push this shovel, it worked out to my advantage because people felt bad for me, so they gave me extra money. I sold drinks on Nantasket Beach. I would go up and down dragging this cooler with my bony adolescent limbs, illegally selling drinks, but I realized I could get a significant discount on Coca-Cola if I purchased a 12-pack or a 24-pack. When I was 8 years old, I got into magic. I used to get paid $20 a half an hour to do magic at birthday parties. And this is my first show. I was 8 years old. This was my sister's birthday party. And I was infatuated with the audience and creating a unique experience. And I've realized that almost everything in the world has been done before. And it's our responsibility to figure out a way to do something different and to stand out from everyone else and to create a unique experience. But at this age, this is when everything changed. I realized with magic, that I could find a business that makes me happy, that makes other people happy, and I could figure out a way to get paid for this. It almost seemed like magic in itself. Since I was a class clown growing up, I would always prank people, and I got a hold of a catalog of where I could purchase pranks at wholesale prices. I could buy 144 whoopee cushions for the price of 4 retail whoopee cushions. And I was like, whoa, that's a lot of whoopee cushions. I don't know what I'm going to do with them all, but that's a great deal. So I went back to school. I pranked people just like I normally would, except this time I could say that could be yours for a small price of $4.99. And I didn't sell too many, but I did sell 4 whoopee cushions. I made my money back. Anything else would have been profit. Although I didn't sell many more whoopee cushions, what I did was for the next year or two, every one of my family got a whoopee cushion for their birthday, for Christmas, for Easter, for Valentine's Day. But then I realized the best thing. At lunch, I could trade my leftover products for other people's snacks, and I could take their snacks and resell them to other people. So I was filtering through all of my leftover whoopee cushions and getting other people's snacks, and I got rid of all my products. Now, when you start a business or a passion or you're excelling in your job, it's often attractive to take that money and fix your car, get a new car, go on a trip. But it's very important in the early stages of your business especially to build a strong foundation. Whether that's a better website, better photography, more events, better products. I reinvested my money back into other pranks, itching powder, fart spray, stink bombs. Itching powder almost got me kicked out of school because someone had an allergic reaction. Their back was covered with hives, and they had to get rushed to the emergency room. Now, this isn't really their back. I got this off a Google image search. I had to come up with something else to sell when I went back to school, and my friends were selling drugs at the time, so I had to figure out something else, so I decided to sell candy. Now that I'm introduced to the world of wholesale, I could buy anything in the world at inexpensive prices as long as I take an initial risk up front. Now, everybody has a $1 million idea, but so many people are afraid of failing. They get haunted with the what ifs. What if it doesn't work? Or what if my parents look down on me? And a lot of times, those hauntings will stop people from following their passion. And I think if you're going to be an entrepreneur, the key thing is to not be afraid, to be okay with failing. Because by me making time to start all these businesses to lead up to my Johnny Cupcakes brand, it's allowed me to fail and to fail fast, which has helped me find what I was passionate about. And it's okay to fail. It's great. You come up with your best ideas and you think tactically. But I was selling candy. I had all the good stuff, even though there was a school store. I had M&M's, Sour Patch Kids, Swedish Fish. I'd come home every day with a backpack full of cash. If I could sell 100 packs of candy 2 times a day at $1 each, that's $200 a day, times 5 days a week. There were some weeks in high school where I could make $1,000 cash a week. Even my drug dealer friends were like, whoa, how much money did you make? That's crazy. And I would say, guys, you actually bought most of the candy from me when you had the munchies. And they were like, oh yeah. So I did get in trouble. I made more money than the school store did. The school store donates money to the school. I donate money to not having to get a real job, and I had to stop selling candy. My advisor sat down with me. I had to flip through a phone book and figure out an internship, and I also learned the value of my time at a young age. I began cutting back on video games. I cut back on watching TV. I had a girlfriend at the time who was not super supportive, so I ended up breaking things off. I was really sad for a week, but after that week, I was like, whoa, look at all this money I'm saving. This is great. But no, for real, I realized at a young age that I have to build a strong foundation for my life before I take on the responsibilities of another human's emotions. So I took a break from that, and then partying. Although I listened to gangster rap music and hung out with drug dealers, I've actually never had a sip of alcohol in my life. I've never tried any drugs, and that's okay if you do that stuff, but I will say the amount of money and time that I've saved by not going out on Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, recouping Sundays and half of Mondays, 5 days a week, my entire life I've been able to operate at 110% and test out all of these different businesses. So I've figured out so many ways to have fun every day, make the best out of this life, and while saving a little bit of money and trying to stay a little bit, a little bit healthy. I went to school for a little bit. I ended up taking a small break. My parents were really supportive. They said, school's not going anywhere. We want you to take something when you know what you're passionate about. So when I took a small break, I invested in a pin making machine. It makes these little pins, buttons, badges. I'd sit home, I'd watch Cartoon Network, and I would make pins and I'd resell them. To this day, these pins have helped make me hundreds of thousands of dollars. And this was going great. I eventually teamed up with a friend of mine, and he had a way better printer, and he was better at designing. But my friend ended up getting a girlfriend, and once my friend got a girlfriend, he had a newfound passion, and we ended up failing the business, and we couldn't keep up with all the orders from the Newbury Comics locations. But I kept positive. I realized if I'm going to do this again, I'm going to do this by myself so I can hold myself accountable for my own actions. I had to get a real job. I had to get a full-time job. I needed health insurance. I worked at Newbury Comics in Braintree, Massachusetts. This is the car I used to drive. There's nothing wrong with it. It got me from point A to point B. And while working at Newbury Comics, I received all these random nicknames for no reason whatsoever. Since my name's Johnny, my goofy coworkers would call me Johnny Appleseed. When I was late for work, they'd call me Johnny Come Lately. And Johnny Cupcakes came out of nowhere. I was 18, 19 years old, and I thought it was funny. And I was getting t-shirts made for the hardcore metal band that I used to be in. And I thought it would be funny to make a random t-shirt that said Johnny Cupcakes on it. I wore it to work, and all these slightly miserable customers that never made eye contact with me, they started laughing and saying, what is that? What's Johnny Cupcakes? Is that a bakery? Is that an adult movie store? I'm like, no. It's just a t-shirt brand. It's just a t-shirt I made. But enough people asked me, I couldn't believe this, enough people asked me that I decided to make more of these t-shirts. They confused people. I wanted to poke fun at pop culture. There were all these tough guys that would go into my work with these skull and crossbone shirts on. So I was like, I'm gonna make fun of those guys. I'm gonna put a cupcake there instead. And I replaced the Statue of Liberty's torch with a cupcake instead of a torch, and I was just having fun with it. And it made complete strangers smile, and that's what made me so excited. And I also got to prank people because I was advertising a bakery that did not even exist. Now, as I said, everything in the world's been done before. It's all about how we do things differently. Now, when we release t-shirts, we try to have an experience around everything. I always want to make sure that my customers feel like it's their birthday anytime they purchase a product. So to go along with this breakfast-themed t-shirt, we decided to release it during breakfast hours. So you can only buy the shirt during breakfast hours. Not only that, but you would get breakfast with your t-shirt when you purchase the t-shirt. We sold these for $40 or $50. They sold out within 24 hours. Now, if somebody drove from New York City to Boston to buy one of these t-shirts and they got at my store at 12:05, we would not sell them this shirt. You know that feeling you get when you go buy a breakfast sandwich and they can't sell it to you because the toaster's unplugged or whatever, and it offsets your day? We wanted to share that same frustration with our customers. So we did. Now, whether people left upset or happy, 100% of the people that left my store left with an experience. And anytime they have breakfast for the rest of their life, there's a good chance they might share that story. So this was cheaper than advertising. I've always taken my advertising budget and put it into building unique experiences through the product, the packaging, and the retail environments. We've done some projects with Marilyn Monroe's estate where we replaced her beauty mark with a little teeny tiny cupcake. We've done some stuff with Looney Tunes, Warner Brothers, bicycle cards, Hello Kitty. This was unbelievable. Sanrio wanted to work with us. We thought that was a fake email, but we made it happen. And when they posted this on their Facebook fan page, they had over 10 million fans at the time. We ended up making $250,000 in 24 hours with zero traditional advertising. We thought something was wrong. We could not believe this. So we decided to do it again, a collaboration. We decided to do it with the Ninja Turtles. We didn't do it with the Ninja Turtles. That would be really weird. But we collaborated with the Ninja Turtles, and we made some special edition T-shirts to help build hype around their new movie. We put our Johnny Cupcakes twist to it. What else can we do to make it special? Well, we decided to have the Ninja Turtles themselves go out and surprise our customers at our Carnaby Street shop, and they all felt like kids again, and some of them even went to the bathroom in their pants. They were so excited. Collaborating is great. The best part about collaborating is the cross-pollination, other people's fans learning about you, and vice versa. We did this recently with The Simpsons. We packaged the T-shirts in oversized cupcake mix boxes for The Simpsons' big anniversary. Inside of each box came a T-shirt and a few other special items. And we had to build an experience around this. Now, we wanted to go even beyond the packaging. What else can we do to make this special? Well, we gave out Real Duff energy drinks. We had, we had cupcakes with little donuts on top of them made. We had Homer go out and strangle people in line. And my very own mom even dressed up like Marge Simpson. Now, people thrive off of new experiences, and so much that they're willing to camp out for days. This was at my Los Angeles shop. We couldn't believe it. People slept on the streets for days to buy these special edition T-shirts. And my concept is strange, but strange is good. Strange is important. It sets you apart from the rest. Here's Kiss the Band. You may or may not like their music. We all know about them. They put on an experience at their shows. Mario Brothers, weird concept for a video game. It's a plumber that shoots fire out of his nose. And lastly, Rainforest Cafe. Raise your hand if you know about the Rainforest Cafe. Keep your hand raised if you love the food there. All right. Your opinion, whether or not you appreciate the food there, we all know about it because of the experience. A little kid cannot walk by there with his or her parents without dragging them into this place. They put on a unique experience, and we all know about it, and they probably have to spend less money on advertising because they do this. So always ask yourself, what are 12 plus things that make you unique? People have too many options. Why will they take a risk with you? I began touring, selling shirts out of my suitcase. My parents' house was filled with boxes of shirts. I left the band to put 110% into Johnny Cupcakes. You had to play Tetris to get to the bathroom or the refrigerator at my parents' house. I learned about packaging. Customers were getting shirts in the mail that smelled like cigarette smoke and had cat hair on them, so I had to focus on packaging. A lot of people save their sneaker boxes, or they like to go to McDonald's because of the Happy Meal. Raise your hand if you've ever saved your packaging from the Apple Store only because it opens in 13 different weird ways. You're like, that's a cool box. I want to save it. And lastly, do you know anyone that keeps a sticker on their hats that announces what size head they have? A lot of people. It's crazy. So good packaging does not get thrown away, and it acts as a miniature billboard. We've packaged some of our products in food containers to go along with the experience. When you buy a T-shirt from my stores that are set up like bakeries, you get a shirt package in a pastry box. We've sold shirts out of ice cream trucks that are packaged in oversized ice cream containers. We've sold Chinese food themed shirts in oversized takeout boxes. We've sold Halloween-themed shirts and giant VHS tapes. We want to create these experiences for our customers and also for ourselves. It makes work fun, and it gives people something to talk about. Count spatula. Yay. So my mom recently told me we could save over $100,000 a year if we just use the free packaging. But again, I want everyone to feel like it's their birthday when they get something in the mail. Sometimes you might get batteries with your T-shirt, a Snickers bar, a $20 bill, or a doll's head. Sometimes I'll take a break from work and I'll write a message on people's orders because it makes them excited. This person said, sometimes it's the little things. How many clothing designers / owners do you know who will personally write a thank you message for their customers? This person said, I just peed myself. And this person said, received this gem in the mail today and realized that Johnny Cupcakes personally signed my package. This little act of kindness definitely made my day. I fully supported the Johnny Cupcakes brand for the past 8 years and will forever continue to support such an amazing brand. Thank you so much, Johnny. That took 2 seconds to be a human and just write thank you. A handwritten note goes a long way, I promise. So wrapping things up, those little details, please focus on them with whatever you do in life. They're the things that separate you from everybody else. I've focused on that. I've built a community around the brand. I've met over 1,000 people that have gotten the Johnny Cupcakes logo tattooed on themselves. Even Travie McCoy, the singer of Gym Class Heroes, got a giant Johnny Cupcakes tattoo on his leg. So the turning point of my company is when I took a big risk, opened a store on Newbury Street. I went from spending $700 a month on rent in my hometown to spending more than $7,000, $8,000 a month on rent on Newbury Street without knowing what the heck I was doing, but I had a feeling, and we had a lot of fans, and I realized if I could trick half of these people into thinking it's a bakery, maybe some of them will buy a t-shirt. Let's give it a try. The opening day on Newbury Street, 400 plus customers lined up forever. The line wrapped up and down Newbury Street. It looked like the opening of an Apple store. It was bigger than the opening of an Apple store. It was with no traditional advertising. Inside of the store, I could have saved a lot of money by going to IKEA and getting inexpensive displays. I love IKEA, love the Swedish meatballs, but I had to stand out from all the other stores. So my stores look and smell like a bakery, but we just sell t-shirts and we display them in refrigerators. I even hide vanilla-scented car fresheners, so when you walk into my t-shirt shops, you smell vanilla frosting. After the opening of that store, I was able to hire my mom full-time to be the CFO of my company. I was able to hire my dad, my sister, my cousin, and I now get to surround myself with people that I love. I've been able to open a store in places I never would have thought existed, in London, in Los Angeles, in Martha's Vineyard, and we've done pop-up shops all over the place. I did not study this. I have a hard time learning. But if I can do this with something as weird as cupcakes on t-shirts, there's no reason at all why you guys can't come up with something way better than that. Every day people come in saying, wait a minute, you guys don't sell real cupcakes? On April Fool's Day, we did sell real cupcakes. I joke around and I say, maybe I'll open a store across the street that sells cupcakes and we'll call it Johnny's T-shirts. But before I sign off, I just want to read to you a review that we had online. People give us terrible reviews on all those food websites because they get really mad when they come in, you know. But I'm like, Apple doesn't sell fruit. Why don't you get mad when you go there? You know what I mean? I'm telling you, if you ever go to my store, just hang out there on Newbury Street and listen to people. Here's a review. On the storefront, they have signs galore, freshly baked, no sugar. Not even one sign say they sell cloths. No cupcakes. They think it's clever? Nope. Well, I'll tell you what's clever. I'm going to put this on a t-shirt and sell it for $35. Thank you. Thank you.